Hey folks, welcome back to your Week 11 NFL picks here on the Vegas Don channel. Last week we went 9-5. We really got dismantled in the early Sunday games there, but then we kind of came back and got some consecutive wins together to finish out at 9-5. So that puts us at 64% win percentage, straight up against the not against the spread at all, just straight up for the year. 64% is, I'll take it. Like the man said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, right? So let's jump right into this week and see if we can improve upon last week's performance. Tonight brings us the Eagles of Philadelphia hosting the Commanders of Washington. The Washingtons are 4-point underdogs in this one. I'm inclined to take the Eagles in this one as the home team here. I know the Commanders, they're kind of the Cinderella of this season so far, but I think the Eagles will be able to prevail at home in front of that crowd for sure. Over under in this one, 49.5. They're expecting some scoring for sure, so it's like a 27-23-ish type of final that they're predicting there. So I will definitely take the Eagles. And then the early games on Sunday, Steelers hosting the Ravens and what could be a game of the week candidate. Steelers are 3-point underdogs at home to the Ravens. The Black Crows are 7-3. Steelers are 7-2. Over under in this one of 48.5. I'm inclined to take the Steelers at home. I'm going to take the home team and call the upset. And again, this is all for entertainment purposes only. No betting or gambling involved. Just a little something fun that we like to do here on the Vegas Don channel for our community. So yeah, definitely going to take the Steelers at home. Over under 48.5. I think we'll probably go under on that one. And in the previous game with the Eagles and Commanders, I'll take the under in that one as well. These are pretty high over-unders, I think. So I will take the Steelers at home, and then that brings us to the Lions at home against the Jaguars. Lions are 14-point home favorites in this one. Very fat spread in the NFL, but I think it's definitely worth it. They're not going to fall apart at home to the Jaguars. It's just not going to happen. So I will take the Lions at home. Over under 46.5. I think this one will probably go over. The Jaguars don't have a good defense at all, so the Lions will probably be up and down the field all day. Rams at Patriots. Rams are 5-point favorites on the road in Foxborough this weekend. I'm going to take the Rams just because of the fact, they have Puka Nacua, and I think that they'll probably want to. It's like they were sleepwalking through that Monday night game against Miami. So I'm inclined to take the road team here. I think they're going to be out there with angry and with something to prove. Over under in this one of 43.5. I think it'll probably go over. I'm probably going to end up regretting that, but I do think the Rams will prevail on the road. I don't know that they'll win by 5. I could see this being a tight scoring game with like a 3-point field goal attempt at the last second walk-off field goal to win the game for the Rams. Browns at the Saints. In this one, the Saints are 1-point home favorites. Now, anytime I have a home favorite of 1 point, I'm always going to take that home favorite. There's no chance of me calling a spoiler for the road team here. Over under 44.5. I'm inclined to take the under on this one. Both teams having problems scoring. The Browns are just a train wreck completely. The Saints are not far behind that. So I'm going to take the Saints at home. I think they'll probably stay under on that over-under as well. And then that brings us to the Colts of Indianapolis traveling into New Jersey to take on the Fast Airplanes of New York. Fast Airplanes are 4-point favorites in this one. Over under in this one of 43.5. I'm inclined to take the Jets here at home. I could see this being a low scoring game though. I could see them winning with a 3-point walk-off field goal. So I'm going to take the under on the over-under. Not too sure about that point spread. That scares me a little bit, but I do think the Jets will prevail at home. And then you have the Vikings at the Titans. And then in another NFC North v. AFC South matchup, the Vikings are 6-point favorites in this one. I see no reason to believe that the Vikings will fall apart here. I think that they're going to prevail just fine on the road. Over-under in this one, very low. Well, not very low, but 39.5. So they're not expecting much scoring out of Tennessee at all. I'm going to go with the over on this one and say that the Vikings will end up scoring quite a bit in this one. Raiders at Dolphins. I'm wearing my Dolphins gear. I've picked against the Dolphins quite a few times this year, and last week I did so to my detriment. They ended up winning in LA. This week they're hosting the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are 7-point underdogs at Miami. 43.5 for the over-under in this one. I think that the Dolphins will certainly prevail. The line seems kind of fat to me. The Dolphins, they just scare me with, you just don't know. They're too inconsistent. You don't know which offense is going to show up. And so I'm going to take the Dolphins in this one. I could see this going under the over-under for sure. And I could also see the Dolphins not meeting that point spread. 7's pretty big for them, especially in this type of season that they're having. And so the Packers travel into Chicago to take on the Bears. Packers are 5-point favorites in this one, over under 40 and a half. I like the Packers on the road. Bears are just too wildly inconsistent for me to really pick them and rely upon them to do much of anything. So I'm going to take the Packers, and I think they will cover 48 and a half. I think they'll probably stay under. I don't see the Bears scoring a whole lot in this one. So Packers will prevail on the road in this one. And that brings us to the late games here on Sunday. Broncos hosting the Atlanta Blackbirds, the Falcons. Falcons are 2.5-point underdogs in Denver, Mile High City. The over-under 44.5. I'm going to take the Broncos. I think the Broncos will prevail at home. Falcons are tricky. You never know which team is going to show up, but I think the Broncos will prevail at home. It's tough playing in Denver, not only because of the crowd, but also because of the altitude. So I think that they'll probably go under on the over-under, but that Denver will certainly cover at home and win. And then you have the 49ers hosting the Seahawks. Seahawks are kind of a mess right now. Shout out to 7-Eleven Man and to Michael, guys. I can't pick the Seahawks over the 49ers in this one. Last time these two met, it did not go well for me and my picks, and certainly well for the Seahawks at all. So 49ers are 6.5-point favorites. They prevailed on the road cross-country last week at Tampa Bay. I see no reason to believe that the 49ers will lose at home here to the Seahawks. Geno Smith, 7-Eleven Man, told me in the local paper up there, so Geno Smith was out there apologizing to the local fans for his performance in the season as the Seahawks quarterback. That's not a good sign at all when that sort of thing starts to happen. So going to take the Niners over-under in this one, 48.5. I think it'll probably stay under. I don't see a whole ton of scoring in this one. And then that brings us to the big game of the week. This is probably the game that is going to be the candidate for not only the game of the week, but maybe even the game of the year, depending upon how the final score plays out. Chiefs of Kansas City go into Western New York to take on the Buffalo Bills. Bills are 2-point favorites in this one. Over-under in this one, 46.5. Anytime, I learned a long time ago, I don't bet, and that's, again, for entertainment purposes only here, but I learned a long time ago that when you have a home favorite like this, it's favored by 3 or less, you always take the home favorite. So I'm going to take the Bills. I'll take the points. I think that this one probably will go over. I may end up regretting that if the defenses decide to show up. But I think that this will probably be a high-scoring affair. But I do think that the Bills will prevail against the Chiefs and knock out their perfect season, their attempt at a perfect season here. And then Sunday night's game brings us the Cincinnati Bengals traveling into L.A. to take on the Chargers. Chargers are 1.5-point favorites in this one. Bengals, again, too wildly inconsistent for me to rely on them. Actually, so are the Chargers, really. But the Chargers, I will take at home as 1.5-point favorites. Over under 47.5. I think it'll definitely stay under in this one. And then Monday night's game brings us the Houston Texans taking on their in-state rival, the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are another train wreck right now. Dak Prescott out for the year. They've got all sorts of issues. Jerry Jones is, kind of not having a good time with the reporters asking questions there in Dallas. So Texans are 7-point road favorites in this one. That seems steep to me. I think the Texans will certainly prevail. Over under 42.5. I think it'll probably stay under the over under there. The Texans won't need much to be able to win and outscore Dallas in this one. So I'll definitely take the Texans on the road. Thanks for joining, everyone. Let me know your thoughts. Drop your comments and let me know what you think about my picks and what your picks are. And we'll see you on the other side of this week 11. Have a great weekend, everyone.